Who is Gog of Magog? According to Ezekiel 38-39, Gog is from the land of Magog, and he is the ruler of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal. From Genesis, we also know that Gog should be a descendant from Noah's son Japheth. When the land was divided among Noah's 3 sons after the flood, Japheth was given the land in the north, and Gog is also from the north. Ezekiel 38 verse 2. Son of man, let your face be turned against Gog, of the land of Magog, the ruler of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal. Genesis 10 verse 2. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. It has been prophesied in the Bible that Gog will be involved in 2 wars, the first one against Israel, and the second one against Jerusalem and the saints. It is believed that the first war against Israel will happen before the Great Tribulation. It is because according to Bible prophecy, Israel will be living in peace with no perceivable danger at that time. Since there will be no more peace in Israel after the tribulation starts, this war initiated by Gog against Israel probably refers to a time before the tribulation. Ezekiel 38 verses 14-16. In that day, when my people Israel are living without fear of danger, will you, Gog, not be moved against them? And you will come from your place in the inmost parts of the north, you and a great number of peoples with you, all of them on horseback, a great force and a strong army, and you will come up against my people Israel, like a cloud covering the land, and it will come about, in the last days. In this first war, Ezekiel prophesied that Gog and his armies will be destroyed by calamities and signs, which makes it very clear that they are destroyed by the wrath of God. Bodies from this war will be buried in a valley called Hamon-Gog in Israel, and their weapons will be used as fuel in Israel, which will burn for 7 years. Ezekiel 38 verses 18-23. And it will come about in that day, when Gog comes up against the land of Israel, says the Lord, that my wrath will come up. For in the fire of my wrath I have said, truly, in that day there will be a great shaking in the land of Israel. And I will send down on him, Gog, and on his forces and on the peoples who are with him, an overflowing shower and great ice drops, fire, and burning. And I will make my name great and make myself holy, and I will make myself clear to a number of nations, and they will be certain that I am the Lord. Ezekiel 39 verse 11. And it will come about in those days, that I will give to Gog a last resting place there in Israel. And there Gog and all his people will be put to rest, and the place will be named, the Valley of Hamon-Gog. However, this opposition from Gog will not end even after they have been defeated. Gog's followers continue to gather for another war, and the second war will be initiated after the millennium. It is written that this second war against Jerusalem and the saints will happen after the millennium. However, this event can hardly be called a war, because without any fighting, Gog and Magog will be destroyed by a fire coming down out of heaven. Revelation 20 verses 7-9. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down out of heaven for their destruction. So, is Putin Gog of Magog? It has recently been speculated among Christian groups that Putin is Gog of Magog as prophesied in Ezekiel 38-39. Main arguments being that Putin is from the north, the name Rosh sounds like Russia, and he has started a war. However, these arguments do not sound too substantial, and we must say they are rather insufficient to draw the conclusion that Putin is Gog. 1. Gog is supposed to have many alliances with countries like Persia, Cush, Put, Gomer, Togarmah and others. However, Putin seems quite isolated and in fact is increasingly cut off from the rest of the world. 2. Gog is supposed to be related to the Antichrist who will seek to unite all nations under a one-world government. However, as Putin's own official channels declared, they are actually breaking up their alliances formed with US and the Western world. 3. Putin's war zone is Ukraine, not Israel. In fact, Russia has never shown any intention to fight against Israel until now. Also, as they have admitted themselves, great damage has already been done to their military forces, and it seems quite unlikely that they will be able to initiate another war against Israel in the near future. We will therefore let our readers examine these facts and the scriptures, and then decide for themselves the answer to this question.